Hi. What is strategic thinking? In fact, what is strategy? We use this term in many different situations, many different contexts. I like Michael Porter's definition, sustainable competitive advantage. Or as Thomas Friedman recently wrote in Strategy, a History, it's about getting more out of a situation than the starting balance of power would suggest. Although when really pushed, I like Mike Tyson's definition, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. And that's part of the difficulty with strategy. It always sounds great until it meets the realities of the marketplace. George Day and Paul Schumacher had a wonderful article in 2008, Are You a Vigilant Leader? And in particular, they were emphasizing the idea of being open to new ideas, being more of a coach, an enabler, less of an operational fanatic, and more someone that's looking for those opportunities at the periphery, or being open to the change that's confronting each of us. If the idea of strategy and strategic thinking is sustainable competitive advantage, how well, in fact, are we doing? If you look at the top 10 global companies from year-end 1999 to the most recent quarter, 2013, you'll only find 3 repeats, Microsoft, Walmart, and ExxonMobil. If you look at an individual country level, say look at India, what were the top 10 companies year-end 2010 versus, or year-end 2000 versus 2012, there were only 4 repeats. Infosys, Reliance, ITC, India Tobacco Company, and oil and natural gas. So if the objective is strategic ability, sustainable competitive advantage, doesn't seem like we're doing very well. I want to focus in on 5 specific attributes, what I believe constitute strategic thinking. First, humility. Jim Collins in his book, How the Mighty Fall, say the first sign of incipient decline is hubris, or pride. As Andy Grove said from Intel, only the paranoid survive. So are we humble in our abilities? Are we constantly seeking out what more we could do and how much better we could do it? Secondly, good strategic thinking builds in contingencies. It's constantly asking the question, what if? As Jerome Groopman, who's written a wonderful book, How Doctors Think, he says, even when I've made a diagnosis, I like to keep asking myself or developing a short list of alternatives. This simple strategy is the strongest safeguard against cognitive errors. Third, never plans too far ahead. I did a seminar at Wharton recently where I had some senior financial managers, and I was talking about scenario planning. The typical looks 3 to 5 years out. Someone in the front row raised their hand and said, Jim, let me just tell you, given the changes that I'm facing, the changes in the euro, the changes in China, 90 days may be my long-term plan. So you have to be cognizant of the issues that you're facing and mold your thoughts, your frameworks around what's the realities of the markets that you're dealing with. Fourth, goes easy on details that can't be controlled. What do we manage and what can't we manage? And being honest about that distinction. And lastly, doesn't pretend miracles, especially when starting from a weak position. It's always easy in a strategy discussion or when you get together and brainstorm, what could we be if? To think, well, if only I had a different team, if only I had somebody, an additional $1 million to invest in this great opportunity. As Randy Pausch said, professor at Carnegie Mellon, passed away several years ago from pancreatic cancer. As he said, it's not the hands you're dealt, it's not those cards, it's rather how you play the hand that makes the difference. Strategy is all about playing the hand. Strategic thinking is deciding what goes into that hand and what am I going to do for sustainable competitive advantage. Thanks very much.